Okay, we're back here at Yankee Stadium. Spencer Ross along with the Hawk Ken Harrelson. We're getting ready for the second game of tonight's doubleheader. We were getting ready for the first game of tonight's doubleheader. Unfortunately for the Yankees, it really did not get underway. As you can see, they were shut out, blanked by 3 Texas pitchers in the first game of this doubleheader. Bobby Witt, Jeff Russell, and Paul Kilgus. Home runs, grand slammer by the rookie catcher Mike Stanley, a 2-run shot by Larry Parrish. And now the Yankees, the most they can get out of this one is a split, and they'll send Rick Rhoden to the mound against Jose Guzman. But a ball game that Hawk just didn't appear like the Yankees ever got started against the youngster Witt, who, as you said, was really pitching within himself throughout.
He was.
5
There's no question. Bobby Witt was well within himself. He did not try to overthrow. Got the breaking ball over by far better than I've ever seen him do it. Mixed a couple of change-ups in there, and he was in command up until the 6th inning. And his last time out, when he went to 8+, as you look at the Texas starter Jose Guzman. Now Guzman has mononucleosis, but he said he can pitch and he's going to try it out there. But Witt, yeah, he was very impressive, and with the arm, the ability he has, he didn't have to be flat out 100% all the time to get you. So at that point, he went out there, he threw strikes, he got ahead, and up until the 6th inning, as I said, he just totally dominated the Yankee hitters. But the Yankees going to have a little different looking lineup here, which we do not have at this point. We don't have either lineup. But just watching him warm up out there, it looks like the infield is going to be Mattingly, Randolph at second, Tollison, the shortstop, Cerrone behind the plate, and we don't know if it'll be Morocco or Pags at third. It'll probably be Pags with Easler. He had a glove out there warming up, so it might be Mike Easler in the outfield. But the walking wounded, the injured out there that the Yankees have, and I'll tell you, it's just a zig and zag, patch me up situation with that lineup almost every day. But a reminder, the Sports Channel knows that during the All-Star break, 1 game in 3 days is just not enough. So on July 15th, we'll bring you a Sports Channel curtain call of an exciting Yankee game from this year. But we'll need your help to decide which game to show. Now, should we show the Yankees' incredible comeback victory over Roger Clemens and the Red Sox when they were down 9-0? Or would you rather see the Bronx Bombers slugfest win over the Blue Jays? That was when Dave Winfield hit that grand slam and knocked in all those winning runs. Well, it's your choice, and all you got to do is pick up the phone. If you'd like to see the comeback win over the Sox, then just dial 1-900-720-2660. Now, if you want to relive that awesome game, that unbelievable 15-14 Yankee victory over the Blue Jays, then all you got to do is dial 1-900-720-2666. Now, the results will be announced July 10th, and the game will be shown on the 15th. And remember, please dial carefully. And there also is a 50-cent charge for each call. But it'll be the Red Sox game or the Blue Jay game. They just send us the lineups. All right, we got the lineups right here, and we'll run them down in case you're keeping score with us. First, for the Texas Rangers, coming in with that mark of 37 and 39, leading off the second baseman Jerry Brown. Batting second, the shortstop Scott Fletcher. Ruben Sierra will hit third. He'll be in right field. It'll be Pete O'Brien, the cleanup hitter, the first baseman. Larry Parrish will bat fifth. He'll be the designated hitter. In left field hitting sixth, it'll be Pete Incaviglia. Gino Petralli will bat seventh and do the catching. At third base hitting eighth, it'll be Steve Buechele. And batting ninth, the center fielder Bob Brower. On the mound, right-hander Jose Guzman. For Lupinella's Yankees, coming in with that mark of 49 and 30. 19 games over the 500 mark. And we understand, Danny, what's the score in the Kansas City-Toronto game? 4-3 Kansas City in the 4th inning. So Yankees are liable to catch a break right there with Kansas City leading Toronto 4-3. First of a doubleheader at Royal Stadium. That game in the 4th inning. But here's how the Yankees will line it up. Leading off, the left fielder, Ricky Henderson. Batting second, playing second, Willie Randolph. Don Mattingly will hit third. He will be the first baseman. The designated hitter, Dave Winfield, batting cleanup. In the 5th position, playing center field, Claudell Washington. Mike Easler will hit 6th. He'll be in right. Mike Pagliarulo, the third baseman, hitting 7th. Doing the catching, it'll be Rick Cerrone hitting 8th, and the shortstop, Wayne Tollison. On the mound, 34-year-old right-hander Rick Rhoden. So it'll be Rhoden against Guzman, and we'll be back with the second game of this doubleheader right after this. 34-year-old right-hander Rick Rudin taking his warm-up tosses. Rudin making his 17th start of the year. And the big right-hander coming in with that mark of 9-5, 3.79 ERA. Rudin has done a job since coming over from the Pirates. He has really settled in his last 8 starts. He's just been outstanding, that's all. Here's the way his teammates will line up defensively behind him. In the outfield, it'll be Henderson at left, Claudell Washington in center, Mike Easler in right. Around the horn, Mattingly at first, Randolph at second, Tolleson the shortstop, Tayurulo at third, and the battery of Cerrone and Roden. And the umpires for the second game of this twin bill. Behind the plate, it'll be Mark Johnson. Ted Hendry will be at first, Kenny Kaiser down at second, and Darrell Cousins over third. So Roden has concluded his warm-up tosses. They whip it around the horn. And, you know, that was a laid-back game, the first one. But they got a little different lineup in there for the second one, Pards.
It certainly was. It was a game waiting to happen as far as the Yankees were concerned, and it just never happened for them. And Roden will face Jerry Brown, Fletcher, and Ruben Sierra. Odemy McDowell out with an injury, and that's why we have not seen him. So every team has their physical problems. And while we emphasize very often the Yankee problems, they are serious. They're just nagging, and they're constant. Got a couple of guys in the ball game tonight. In the second game, Willie Randolph in there as the first pitch is ball 1. We're playing with Hertz, but that's all part of the game. Brown in the first game tonight in the leadoff spot. 1 for 4 with a walk. Inside for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. Roden beaten in his last start against the Red Sox at the stadium. Went 5 1/3, gave up 6 hits, 4 runs. And 5-1. Looking for double figures tonight. 2-1. Brown, the 21-year-old youngster from St. Croix in the Virgin Islands. Roden having a little bit of a problem out there. Lou Pinella's going to go out to the mound, and it might be a problem with the mound. And Pinella's calling for the grounds crew. He wants some work done on there. Whatever it is, it's not very comfortable for Roden. Got some of that dirt built up, perhaps. That's exactly what they're going to do. Smooth it out and build it up.
That's one thing that's always mystified me about most ballparks. With the exception of just a couple of clubs, most ballparks just fix the mound, standard procedure, so to speak. But the Dodgers and a couple of other clubs, I should say, there are about 3 that do it. They tailor-make that mound every game to suit their pitcher. Now, the specifications are there, but they tailor-make it. They talk with each and every individual pitcher. They tell them how they want it. And when they go out there, and that's a little tough to do, of course, in the second game of the doubleheader. But prior to the games, yeah, they tailor-make those mounds right to the guy.
Here's a 2-1 delivery. And it's fouled away to the left side. Of course, the other guy, he gets out in the mound.
And he's got to adjust to that.
So you'll see them go out there and do a lot of kicking and a lot of moving the dirt around, trying to set it to the way they like it. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Brown, leading it off here for the Rangers. Second game of the doubleheader. Texas walloped the Yanks in the opener, 9-zip. Count goes full, 3-2. Brown hitting a .252 with 20 RBI. Good speed. He's stolen 13 bases this year. Bounce to second. The captain, Willie Randolph. 1 man out. So Brown retired for the first out. And Scott Fletcher, the shortstop, had a big hit in the first game. Fletcher went 1 for 2 at a sacrifice, and then in the 5th inning with it still close, 1-0. Single to left field to score 2. Rangers were on their way. They led it 3-0, won it 9-0. Strike 1. With the win in the opener, Rangers now have won 7 of their last 8. Fletcher hitting at .313, 4 home runs, 37 RBIs, his career high 50. Takes a strike on 2. Just outside, 2. With ground on hand. About 4 o'clock this afternoon. There weren't that many folks here at the start of the first game, but they're still coming in.
It was still a good crowd for a 4 o'clock start.
Folks gonna stick around when it's over because the fireworks will start. The Gucci brothers. There's a jam right to Willie Randolph. Fletcher retired. So 2 men out here on the top of the first inning. Immediately following the ball game, New York Sports Nightly, and following that, thoroughbred action. So you stay tuned for that right here on Sports Channel. Here's Ruben Sierra. Had a tough first game, 0 for 5, was struck out twice, hitting at .262. Ball 1. Normally we might say something like, for those of you who joined us late, in this case we'll say for those of you who did not join us early, since we've been with you since 4 o'clock this afternoon, and talking about the Rangers, they're really woeful start and the way they have come back from it. They were 1-10 at the outset of the year. Bobby Valentine just had these kids working and believing in themselves, and right now they're just 2 games under .500. They're in that Western Division race.
They should be in it all the way. They have too good a talent not to contend over there. But as we've talked about earlier, still the one club that changed, misses a little low. Roden wanted it. But the club over there that should have the ability to control and dictate their own fate, barring some severe injuries, are the Kansas City Royals.
And the injuries have hurt them. Without number 5.
Well, they played well in his absence.
Cerrone will have to hurry. Sierra, good speed, didn't get him. Sierra gets down that line quickly.
Very quickly when he smells a hit. And right there, just took too much time. The ball bounced out. Taking a little too much time, and that's what let Sierra beat the play.
So first base runner of the ball game, Sierra. He has good speed. He's stolen 7 bases. He still has not quite learned how to steal them. He's been thrown out 10 times. The 2 men out, Pete O'Brien steps in. 1 for 5 in the opener, scored a run. 18 home runs, 53 RBIs, hitting at .284. O'Brien waves that bat. It looks like a toothpick. I mean, just
most of the bats that guys use today are relatively small. They're going with a smaller bat, the lighter bat, the smaller handle.
How heavy a bat do you use?
Anywhere from 35 to 40 ounces.
These guys are down anywhere from 5 to 8 ounces, almost a half pound. From what You were waving around.
They use 30s, a lot of 31s. I would say the biggest number that would be used today would be 32 ounces. When I say biggest, I'm talking about the most. Some of the Yankees have heavier bats. They have bats that get up there to 33, 34 ounces.
Now you go back to when we were kids, and we're both in the same age category. At 15, we used 32-ounce bats. And the bigger guys used the bigger ones, you know, the 35, 36.
That's right. Well, it was a macho thing to do, to be able to graduate up in those weights to get up there to those 34, 35-ounce bats. Couldn't swing them, but it was macho.
Oh, big guy now. Want to know the count. And O'Brien takes this one high and deep to left field. Henderson is back to the wall and makes the catch to retire Pete O'Brien, who very nearly uncorked his 19th home run of the season. Instead, the Rangers go down. No runs, an infield hit. They leave one as Henderson puts this one away through half an inning. Texas nothing. Yankees coming to bat.
You're looking at the 24-year-old right-hander out of Santa Isabel, Puerto Rico, Juan Guzman. Guzman 6'3", 185 pounds, at mark of 6-6, 5.13 ERA, making his 14th start in his 17th appearance. This will be his second start against the Yankees. He beat Tommy John by a score of 8-6. That was here back on May 13th. So Guzman with a 1-0 record this year against New York. He is 2-1 lifetime, 18-23 in the big leagues. And here's how the Rangers will stack him up defensively. In the outfield from left, it'll be Incavilla, Brower, and Sierra. Around the horn at first base, O'Brien, Brown at second, Fletcher the shortstop, Steve Buechele at third, and the battery of Gino Petralli and Jose Guzman.
As you mentioned, Hawk, this youngster going out to the mound, although he's physically not 100%, suffering with mononucleosis. And he'll pitch to Ricky Henderson, Willie Randolph, and Don Mattingly.
Well, he is, I'll tell you, he's a pretty good-looking young pitcher. At times, he can get the ball by you. He's got the curveball, change of pace, and he's got plenty of savvy, especially for a youngster. Just in his second year in the league, knows what he's doing out there.
Henderson 1 for 3 in the opener with a couple of walks. Guzman beat the Yankees last year, so he's 2-0 lifetime. Makes a nice play here and throws Ricky Henderson out. That ball gets by him. It's a base hit. So Henderson the first out. Last year as a rookie, Guzman was 9-15 at a slow start. He won his first game, then lost his next 5. Then won 5 of his next 6. And finished up by losing 7 of his last 8. Here's the Yankee co-captain, Willie Randolph. Sat out the first game. That knee's still bothering him. Get that mound fully, the plate fully cleaned off. Mark Johnson behind the plate, calling balls and strikes. Up high, ball 1. Ranger outfield shades Randolph way over to the right. There's a big gap in left center field. There's a strike, 1-1. A lot of room for Randolph there, but his power normally toward right center, and that's the way the Rangers are playing him. Guzman coming off a victory against Minnesota. There's a strike, 1-2. It's a big series for the Rangers. They swept Minnesota 4 in a row and got themselves back into the Western Division race. 2-2. Breaking ball taken down the right side, foul. There's a lot of nice young pitchers on this Texas ball club. youngster we saw in the opening game. Ed Correa, who we'll see this weekend.
Get some good arms.
You're making a differentiation, right, between good arms. There's a long way from good arms to good pitcher.
That's exactly right.
3 balls, 2 strikes. But the potential's there. Don Mattingly in the on-deck circuit. Bounce to second. And Brown throws out. Willie Randolph, 2 men away. Don Mattingly had 2 of the Yankees' 5 base hits in the opener. Double a left and single a left as he went 2 for 4. Ball 1, hitting at .325 now with 8 home runs, 46 RBI. One ball, 1 strike.
Here's a good change by Guzman. Good motion with it. Got a lot of fluidity. Good range of motion out there. Boy, you see a pitcher that's 6'3", 185. That's coming close to being the perfect type physique. Long and lanky.
Left field, but right to Incaviglia. Side retired. Yankees go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the 1st inning. And after 1, it's still the Rangers nothing, the Yankees nothing.
No score, top of the 2nd inning. And a reminder, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Now, any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or the use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the expressed written consent of the New York Yankees and Sports Channel is prohibited.
Top of the 2nd inning. No score here. And Rick Rhoden will face Larry Parrish, Pete Incaviglia, and Gino Petralli. Parrish put one into the center field bleachers, into the closed off section, just a bit to the right of the 410 marker in the 1st game off Pete Incaviglia for his 19th home run of the season. Now, we estimated maybe 450 feet in that shot. Give or take a meter or 2.
That's right, give or take 30 cents or 2.
Yeah, whatever. I'll tell you, he zapped that one. There you see, right to the right. Into that closed off, blackened off section of seats. It's his 15th career home run against the Yankees. Big cut, strike 2, 1-2.
Well, these two have faced each other a few times in the past. So we'll see how Parrish is supposed to be pitched.
Sitting at 293, 19 home runs. Took a little bit off that one. And there's Henderson. It's going to be snatch time. Yep.
Curveball that Rhoden got up. It wasn't a hanger. He still had some bite on it, but still not a bad pitch to hit. Parrish is a real good crypt hitter, real good mistake hitter.
Pete Incaviglia struck out twice in the 1st game, went 0 for 4. He's now struck out 97 times. Big swing, strike 1. $16 home runs, 44 RBIs. Rangers will take those strikeouts, keeping up those other numbers.
Well, they can take them for one reason, because of the balance. They've got good offensive balance. They don't have a guy hitting in front of him or behind him that strikes out a ton. Now, Larry will get his strikeouts, but still he can put the ball in play. But as we mentioned, Incaviglia, as long as he plays this game, he's going to strike out. He's just a big swinger.
Not like the Oakland situation where they had Canseco and Kingman together. You can't live with that for too long. Strike 3.
It's tough to have 2 guys in that lineup. They're going to punch out 150, 160 times, as Rhoden just came at Incaviglia with the heat. We'll get that young man's wheels turning a little bit. He was looking for the local and catching the express.
2 and out. Gino Petrale, who did not play in the first game. Mike Stanley did and uncorked the grand slam home run, his second in a week. Had one against Minnesota last weekend. Petrale hitting a .301, 2 home runs, 15 RBIs. Ball 1. The bat only 83 times with 25 base hits. Don Slaught, who had been the regular catcher for the Rangers, struggling along at .207. Willie Randolph's right there. Petrale hit the ball hard, but the Yankees second baseman moving to his right takes the base hit away from him, and the Rangers go down. 1-2-3 here in the top of the second. Through an inning and a half, still no score. Bottom of the second inning here at the stadium. No score. Rangers took the opener of this doubleheader, 9-0. And we go to the bottom of the second. Yankees still looking for their first base hit. Dave Winfield, Claudel Washington, and Mike Easler to face Jose Guzman, who retired the Yankees 1-2-3 at the bottom half of the first inning.
And in the only other completed action around the major leagues thus far this afternoon at Wrigley Field, it was the Giants over the Cubs by a score of 3-1.
Yankees with a doubleheader tonight. Kansas City and Toronto playing 2. Royals lead that one 4-3 in the 5th inning. Here's Winfield. You see the numbers: 296, 18 home runs, 62 RBIs. That's tops on the New York Ball Club, the RBI total and the home run total. Ball 1. A 15-14 win. That dramatic 15-14 win. It was Winfield who emerged the hero with a grand slam home run off Tom Henke. The Yankees were down 14-11. 2 balls, 1 strike. Three and 1.
Like we said at the time, when you hit 3 2-run homers and 2 grand slams, you should be in the ball game.
Mattingly and Winfield had the grand slammers. And the Yankees were very nearly out of the ball. It turned around that quickly. They had 11-4. It suddenly became 14-11 Toronto. And the finale of that series in Toronto. Jimmy Key with a great performance. Tommy John matching. This is popped up right below us. Count us full 3-2.
There, Guzman got away with a mistake. Count 3-2, just trying to throw the curveball for a strike. Boy, in the big leagues, you just can't do that. You're going to throw the curveball 3-2, you got to throw it. You just trying to throw a curveball for a strike or a slider for a strike. That's when that thing can develop into a spiral. And those spirals can go an awful long way.
Full count pitch coming to Winfield again. Nobody out, bottom of the second, no score. And Winfield laid off. Ball 4. He looked behind to make sure that Mark Johnson didn't flag him out. Winfield aboard with a base on ball.
There's another breaking ball. That man doing a good job right there of holding up.
Want to make sure, though.
I was looking at Ted Hendry. I wasn't looking at Johnson. Looking at Ted Hendry right there. He was the one that was going to do the damage.
Vondell Washington steps in, hitting at 289, 4 homers, 23 RBIs. Washington 0 for 2 in the opener with a walk. Fouls the first pitch away, strike one. Another one of the walking wounded for the Yankees. But it comes to play.
Kansas City leading Toronto 5-3 in the 5th at Royal Stadium.
It's got to be an emotional night tonight in Kansas City. It was the night that DeKalser was going to come back to the ballpark. They were going to retire his number in between the ball games, and they're going to retire the number in honor of the late manager of the Royals. There'll be a lot of very, very damp eyes.
Yeah, there'll be some shed there tonight. Now he called a balk on him. Claimed he did not step off. Kenny Kaiser at second base, who has become the man who leads this league by far in calling balks. You can see right there, he said he didn't step when Fletcher asked him. Now Bobby Valentine coming out. So, okay, Kenny. I saw it too.
Not really an argument from Valentine. It's the king of the balk.
King of something.
1 ball, 1 strike to Washington. Nobody out, bottom of the 2nd. And the pitch down low, ball 2, 2-1. Yankees with a runner in scoring position.
No, the reason we bring up the situation, as Spencer mentioned a while ago, with the walking wounded, is certainly not to cry poor mouth, because that is a definite part of it. Hello, I said hard, but there's Sierra. And now Winfield's tagging. He's going to try to get there as Fletcher cuts it off, and the big man, even with a bad leg, moves into third base.
I tell you, you talk about impressive. As he was off toward third, he scampered back so quickly, just planted his leg in that base and took off to tag up and make it to third base. Good play.
He's an excellent base runner. But getting back to that, it's certainly not sitting up here crying poor mouth for this ball club, because every club has to contend with it. But the big thing is just to let the viewers who are outside the area, so to speak, or couldn't get to the ballpark, just know what it is as far as trying to make out a lineup card. There's the reason we bring it out so prominently.
And again, though, everybody does have those problems.
You got to overcome them. It's just that simple. It's part of the game as much as offense, defense, injuries.
National League East, Cardinals are up by 5. They've had their share of injuries that they could hide behind. And yet they're leading that Eastern Division in the National, and the Yankees are up in the Eastern Division of the American. One 1-0 to Eastler. Up high, ball 2, 2-0. The Yankees have not scored a run all night. They've got a man at third base now with only 1 man out. Eastler in the opener. 1 for 3 with a base on balls. Winfield leading from third. 2-1.
There's that good change. We mentioned Guzman can get cute out there. Got a lot of savvy. Gets way ahead, behind in the count, I should say, 2-0. And throws in that good change with that good motion. And Michael way out in front. He was sitting dead red.
Fouls it back.
There he came with a fastball and got it by him. invariably, when a guy has a real good changeup and he throws a good one like that, he'll back it up with the heat because it just puts another 6 inches on it to the eye of the hitter.
Base hit, left field, past Bouchel. Winfield scores. Yankees on the board. They lead it by a score of 1-0. Mike Easler comes through with his 4th RBI.
Well, thus far you can credit that run to the big man Dave Winfield because of the tag. There's that change. This time he gets it up. More of a hanging type change up, and he just goes right with it through the hole. But had David been on second base, he would have had to have holed up right there. Couldn't have scored. What Bobby's doing right now, 2 things, because Guzman does have the mono. And the next thing is asking him about maybe the pitch selection. And that's what you got to do so much today. You know, there are different schools of thought or philosophies or theories on how to handle a situation with the young players of today's era, so to speak. Most managers go about it. They'll wait till after the game's over when a mistake is made, call them in the office, and then talk to them. There are a few that will go the other way. They will tell you right now when you get back to the dugout or out on that mound, and they will let you know because they want to keep it fresh in your mind.
So you don't make it again.
I subscribe to the latter. I think you should let them know right then.
Mike Pagliarulo.
Especially in young pitchers.
But there's got to be a way of doing it. It's foul ball.
Well, I don't think there's any set way of doing it at all, because each and every individual is different. And some guys, I'll tell you, you get on some guys and they'll just roll over. I mean, they will absolutely flat roll over on you. You get on other guys, they can take it, and they will take it constructively, which they know that that's how it's being told to them, and that's what the intention is.
Nobody wants to do better more than the manager in the dugout. Because his future depends on how well they do out in the field.
Well, a lot of managers say, though, Spence, they won't go out there with a young pitcher and get on them because they don't want to interrupt their train of thought. I mean, that's the way most of them do it. And I just totally disagree with that. First of all, he's out there trying to win a ball game or pitching a ball game. And in this case, both these clubs are in a pennant battle. And if you don't tell him out there, he's liable to come back 2 hitters later with the same mistake.
And if he does roll over on you, well, you just got to.
He's going to lose anyway.
Yeah, and it's time to think about moving him out. After he's
well, that's a little easier said than done.
Yeah. 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Pagliarulo. Yankees have gotten on the board. They lead it by a score of 1-0. Pags 0 for 3 in the opener with a walk. Yankees beaten in the first game, 9-0. A combined 5-hit shutout. This is high and deep right field. Way back. Goodbye. 2-run home run for Mike Pagliarulo. And the Yankees put 2 more on the board and lead it 3-0.
Just reaches out and hooks it. Boy, there is a left-handed hitter hitting at Yankee Stadium. That is a familiar scene over the years to a lot of Yankee fans. Those left-handed hitters just reaching out. Number 13 for Pags, and RBIs number 40 and 41. Just a line drive, a hooking line drive.
And we've got a 3-0 ball game. And the first pitch to Cerrone is ball 1. Cerrone came in the latter stages of the first game and played first base with the Yankees down 9-0. Went to the plate once and was hit by a pitch. Foul ball past Mike Ferraro and Steve Bouchel. Count 2-1. Pagliarulo with his 13th home run of the season. RBIs 40 and 41. Cerrone will get a fresh bat. Yankee skipper Lou Piniella. working on tags. Jay Ward coming over. It's Gene Monahan, Steve Donahue, the Yankee trainer. Says you won't take it. 2-2. Bouchard will have to hurry. Cerrone doesn't have much speed in the throwing time. 2 out.
Little check swing to Hopper on the curveball from Guzman.
And here's Wayne Tolleson with 2 men out. Tolleson in the first game 0 for 3. Takes ball 1, hitting a .249, a homer, 19 RBI. Yankees with 3 runs on the board here in the second. 3-0 now to Tolleson. Two balls, 1 strike. There's a base hit for the Yankees shortstop. Solid shot to center. Third base hit of the ball game for the Yanks. That's Mike Loing. Up in the bullpen, big right-hander out of Florida State.
Breaking ball pitcher at the curve. Good curve. Throws a lot of them.
And we're back to the top of the Yankee order. Ricky Henderson. He bounced out to Guzman in the first inning. Bottom of the second, 3 runs in for the Yanks. In for a strike, 0-1. Three runs on 3 hits for the Yankees. No runs, 1 hit for the Rangers. Oh, 2. Henderson with a base hit in the first game, extending his hitting streak to 4.
Oh, that one right there. Guzman came off the mound. So it looked like he was doing the standing high jump. He's going to make sure that Kaiser saw that foot come off the rubber there.
Kaiser's already hit him with a block. Ooh, narrowly missing outside on the curveball. 1-2.
Free KC in the 6th over Toronto.
Well, they put Kansas City in front in that one. Jim Eisenreich again. RBI single. Gave a 4-3 lead. 2-2. Full count, 3-2. Guzman wanted that one.
Yeah, he wanted a couple of them in this sequence. There he comes back with a fastball on the outside corner. Wasn't too high.
Looked pretty good.
If you'll take it.
Full count. And Henderson pops this one short right field. Sierra got a late jump, but he comes on, makes the catch, side retire. But not before the Yankees put 3 on the board. A 2-run home run by Mike Pagliarulo, the key blow, and through 2 innings of play. Yanks 3, Rangers nothing.
Well, there you see the score down at Royal Stadium. 5-3 Kansas City over the Blue Jays. Most of the damage being done. 2 RBI singles by George Brett. An RBI single to put them ahead 4-3 by Jim Eisenreich.
And right here, Yankees with a 3-0 lead after Texas took the opener 9-zip. Steve Buechele will lead it off for the Rangers. Sat out the first game. Takes a strike. Only a .214 for Buechele with 7 home runs, 23 RBIs. He became the third baseman when Buddy Bell left Texas. Good defensive ball player.
I think he's going to hit. He's got a couple of problems, that mainly a big swing, but if he can learn, which he probably will, he's a smart kid, graduate of Stanford. Of course, that doesn't mean that you're going to be smart baseball wise, but you can see the swing right there. His hips really open up in a hurry. When those hips go, that shoulder goes, and that swing gets awful big. There's a hanger. A lot of guys are going to hit that one hard. But I think he's a couple of years away yet, but in my opinion, he's going to swing the bat, and he's going to do some damage before his career is over.
Meantime, Rangers utilizing him at third base, and he certainly doesn't hurt you in the field.
No, I don't know how he plays against other clubs, but every time he's played against the Yankees or the White Sox since he's come to this league, he has been sterling, scintillating down there at third base.
He just looks sharp. This is popped up. Mattingly may have room near the tarp. He got it.
And with a big swing like Buechele has, what happens is a domino effect. You get good pitches to hit and you foul them off. There's Donnie just reaching over the tarp, but the reason he was able to make that play so easily, he got there in a hurry and then gauged it. He just doesn't make any mistakes hardly. I mean, it's just amazing. The man just doesn't make any mistakes. I would say this about number 23. I'm not saying he's got the best instincts, but I don't think there's anybody that I've seen in baseball has better instincts than he has.
This first pitch is rocked by Brower to right field, and Winfield's there for the second out. Sierra, excuse me. Easler, I'm sorry. I'll be with you. I was just thinking about Mattingly a second. So Brower retired for the second out. Yeah, and the more you see Mattingly, just
instincts, that's the key. You know, a lot of guys have good talent. They don't have the instincts, and it hurts them. When you've got great instincts and you've got good talent like he's got, it all comes together. And as I said earlier, just because you're book smart doesn't mean you're going to have baseballs or street smarts.
Jerry Brown bounced out to Willie Randolph at second base in his first at bat. Up high for a ball. 2-0. There's a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Only 1 base hit for the Rangers. That was an infield single by Sierra. On a little number in front of the plate. Cerrone out for the ball. Couldn't throw him out. 2-2. Since then, Rodden's retired 6 in a row. That was like a golf shot.
Yeah, he just dropped the bat on it, that's all.
Base hit for Brown.
Look at that. Ball right almost all on top of the plate. Low slider by Rodden. I mean, that's really going down and getting it.
Right off the ground. Second base hit of the ball game for the Rangers. Scott Fletcher, the shortstop, steps in. And a soft line drive to Willie Randolph back in his first at bat. A couple of RBIs in that first game, key ones. It gave the Rangers a 3-0 lead. They went on to win it easy, 9-zip. Yankees lead this one 3-0 here in the third.
13 stolen bases by Jerry Brown.
One and 0. One ball, one strike. Fletcher hitting at .312. It's 4 home runs, already a career high. Now Roden concerned about Brown at first base. And pushes him back again. This will go out of play. Count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Get an idea of the kind of crowd we have here tonight. So I'd say this doubleheader crowd, 37.
No, there's between 50 and 55,000.
Don't start with me. You got me in that once already. I'll learn. One and 2 to Fletcher. Surprised a lot of people hitting 300 last year. They're not surprised now. There's the pitch out, and the runner's going in. They got him. Says Mr. Kaiser. Yankees call the pitch out at the proper time to get Jerry Brown down at second base and retire the side.
Well, high throw right here, and you can see very close play. Kenny Kaiser standing behind him, but that'll do it. Nothing across, and after 2.5, it's 3-0 Yankees. Right now, let's go back to our buddy Lee Zeidman back in the studio.
Thanks, Hawk. Mets are on the field in Cincinnati looking for a second straight win over Pete Rose's Reds. They've just tied the game at 1. There are 2 outs top of the third. Reds were ahead 1-0. Tim Tuffle rips the double past a diving Eric Davis. Rafi Santana comes around to score to tie the game, as I said, at 1. They're in the 4th inning. It's still Darling facing Hoffman. Also tonight, Yankees fans keep an eye on Kansas City, where the Toronto Blue Jays are playing a doubleheader. They trail in the first game 5-3 in the 6th inning. That's the news for now. Back with more a bit later. Send you back to the Bronx right after this.
Spencer Ross, Hawk Harrelson back here at the stadium as Willie Randolph takes strike 1 in the outside corner. The Yankee co-captain bounced out to second in his first at bat. 3-0 Yankees. 3 runs in the second. Jose Guzman. Eastler had an RBI single. Pagliarulo followed with a 2-run homer. Center field. Brower catches up to it for the first out. Randolph smoked it.
Bobby Brower likes to surround him.
Doesn't he?
Yeah. Every time ball's going to hit out there, he is going a little half circling of the wagon job. Meanwhile, he's made every catch.
1 man out. Mattingly steps in. Fly to left in his first at bat to Incaviglia. Yankees lead 3-0.
good pitch to hit. And missed it.
And they're 2 men away. The 2 men out. Dave Winfield will step in. And we watch this one again. Yeah, he wasn't happy. Intensity, desire, and a striving for perfection.
Competitiveness. Well, the fans getting on Guzman. He threw the fastball inside the matting, but that was a breaking ball right there. Just got away from him. But just in case that, which is not going on by any stretch of the imagination at this particular point. But just in case that were to develop a little bit, a little high neck in, Yankees got the right man out there on the mound.
Inside for a ball. 2-0.
Mr. Roden knows how to do that, and he knows how to do it very sneakily with experience.
There's a strike. 2-1. Well, the hope is that it remains very subtle and
well
does not get out of hand.
This is not yeah. What happened. He just tried to get the fastball in on Donnie. As I said, that was a curveball to Winfield. I don't knock anybody down with a curveball.
No. Winfield walked in his first at bat, went to second when Guzman balked him over. Then a very alert play by Winfield, tagging from second, going to third, and a fly ball to Sierra. And here's the second baseman Brown throwing Winfield out. And Winfield scored the Yankees' first run on the base hit by Easler. But the Yankees go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the third. We're a third of the way home. 3-0 New York. Fourth inning, second game of a doubleheader. Yankees lead this one 3-0 after being shut out by the Rangers in the opener 9-0. Thus far, Rick Rhoden has limited the Rangers to 2 base hits, an infield hit by Sierra in the first, and a single to center by Jerry Brown in the second. Here's Scott Fletcher, who was at the plate when Brown was thrown out stealing to retire the side in the third. Fletcher 0 for 1 in the ball game. Strike 1. An even 300 last season. Fletcher now at 311. Sprays the ball all over the park. Here's a strike. Here's a major leaguer, and I see so many little kids. I get 12-year-old boys and everything. Try and get a kid to choke up in the bat.
You got what?
I got a pair of kids that were 12. Well, they were just 13.
That's what you get ready to say. You don't have any more 12-year-olds.
That's right. They were 13 last week. David and John hit number 13. But it's so tough to get little kids to choke up in the bat and learn to play the phrase you use, which is such an admirable, play within themselves.
Within yourself. That's the most important thing.
And here's a major leaguer, 300 hitter. He's doing it. He knows what he can do and what he can't do. And something for kids to think about. Pitch fouled away. Yeah, they're growing up, aren't they?
Yep.
Rick Rhoden looking for his 10th win of the year. Outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Still 5-3 Kansas City in the 7th now, 1st to 2. They got it. Roden gets Fletcher for a second strikeout of the ball game.
Looks like a pretty good sinker right here for Mr. Roden. Hello.
Very good sinker. And there's one man out. Ruben Sierra had an infield hit in his first at bat. Just dug one in front of the plate. Roden came in. Cerrone came out. Cerrone fielded the ball. Throw was too late. Sierra went 0 for 5 in the opener. Hit the ball out of the infield only once. A fly to left and struck out twice. Ball 1. He laid off, said third base umpire Darrell Cousins. Yankees with 3 runs in the second inning. An RBI single by Eastler, and then Pagliarulo followed with a 2-run homer. Three-0. Roden has not walked the ring. In danger of putting the speedy Sierra aboard. Got the green light on. 3-0. Center field. Claudel Washington.
I think that young man missed a sign. I don't know in this particular case right here if is lenient as Bobby Valentine is. I don't know, with 3 runs down, he's going to turn somebody loose 3-0. But just watching him, he is not saying anything right there to Sierra, who just walked behind him. Maybe he did give it to him.
He's surprised. Down 3-0.
Be shocked.
Yeah. 2 men out. There's Bobby Valentine, and here's Pete O'Brien.
That was O'Brien and Parrish coming up.
Chance to get back in the ball game. O'Brien took the ball deep to left field in his first at bat.
I'll put it this way: if he did give it to him, it's a bad play.
Okay. And O'Brien has himself a base hit. Valentine.
We mentioned he's aggressive. He's got the pedal to the metal all the time.
O'Brien with his first base hit of the ball game. Hits are even now, 3-3. But the Yankees lead 3-0. 2 men out. And here's Parrish. Fly to left in his first at bat. High for a ball. Towering 2-run homer in the opener. Center field bleachers. I don't mean left center or right center. I mean back where they don't sell tickets. Two and up. Parrish with 19 home runs, 57 RBIs. Always hits well against the Yankees. Career .318, 46 RBIs, 15 home runs. High fastball, 2-1.
Larry likes to get after it. He can get up on top of that high heater. Well, he didn't on this one. But when you're sitting on that count 2-0, 3-1, and you're looking for the fastball, and you're as good a fastball hitter as he is, and that strike zone moves up for you a little bit. It doesn't have to be exactly right there.
2-2.
For most guys, you got to make them get it down and be in a good zone. Home run hitters, it can vary.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Parrish. 2 men out. Top of the 4th inning. A 3-0 Yankee lead. Second game of a doubleheader. We've been here since 4. Got him on the inside corner, strike 3. Parrish doesn't think so. He's still standing there. Roden will take it, the side retired.
Look like another pretty good sinker right here from Roden. Take another look. Moving inside, missed, nothing across. They'll go to the bottom of the 4th with the Yankees leading 3-0. Bottom of the 4th inning. And along with Spencer Ross, this is Ken Harrelson from Yankee Stadium, second of a doubleheader. Yankees lead this one 3-0. They were shut out in that first game as Tordell Washington pops the first ball fastball up from Jose Guzman. Pete Incaviglia. 1 pitch, 1 out. But they were shut out 9-0 in the first game. Fine pitching by Bobby Witt. Grand slam home run by Mike Stanley. 2-run shot by Parrish. The Yankees getting just 5 base hits, but they stranded 13 in the first game. So with 1 out, that'll bring up the right fielder Mike Easler. Knocked in Winfield back in the second for the first Yankee run. Outfield spread out straight away as he takes it up high in the count 1-0. Nice crowd on hand. As we mentioned earlier, Yankees ahead of last year's pace by 58,000 and change. Coming into tonight, Yankees have drawn 1,073,090. Scotty Fletcher. Easy play, easy toss. 2 gone. And a nice round of applause for the third baseman, Mike Pagliarulo. Michael cranked out his 13th homer last time up, knocking in Easler. He now has 41 ribbies. Good breaking ball down and in, and the count 0-1. Fastball popped up. It'll be out of play. Quickly 2 strikes. In that Toronto-Kansas City game, now in the bottom of the 7th inning, 5-3 Royals leading the Blue Jays. Clancy, Eichhorn, and Lavelle have all hit the hill for Toronto. Mark Gubicza all the way thus far for Kansas City. In the second game, it'll be Cerruti against Jackson. John Cerruti against Danny Jackson. Turned it over, missed outside, and the count of ball and 2 strikes. Rain delay in Cleveland. As a little check swing going foul down the third base line. As the White Sox did not score in the top half of the first inning, then they called it. That's Billy Long against Tom Candiotti. Minnesota leading Baltimore after 1, 2-1. Boddicker against Smithson. Later on, Milwaukee at California, Higuera against Frazier. Boston and Oakland, Sellers against Ontiveros. And Detroit at Seattle, that'll be Jeff Robinson against Mike Moore. Got him. So for the 3rd time in 4 innings, Guzman retires the Yankees in order. 1, 2, 3, and after 4, it's 3-0 New York. Top of the 5th inning. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Yankees. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Rangers. For Texas, it'll be Incaviglia, Petrali, and Steve Buechele to face the 34-year-old right-hander Rick Roden as you look at some of the crowd in attendance tonight. Yankees coming up with all 3 of their runs back in the 2nd inning. Big blow, a 2-run homer by Mike Pagliarulo. So here's the 23-year-old Ranger left fielder. Struck out as Roden just blew him away his first time up there, featuring nothing but fastball. Starts him off this time with a high hook, and the count 1-0. on, going through a couple of breaking pitches. Now changes to the fastball, and misses up high. 2-0. Big free swinger. He'll sit on pitches. And when he gets it, you can put it on the board. Cavilla with 16 homers, 44 runs knocked in. Rangers, as a club, have 104 home runs this season. Yankees have 95. Big swing, and the count evens at 2. Different looking lineup for the Yankees in the second game of this doubleheader. As Winfield in there as a DH, nursing that sore leg. Randolph nursing a sore left knee. He's in there. Curveball just misses. Roden gives that long turkey neck look in. Didn't get it, and the count full. But the Yankees defensively, and now Phil Henderson in left as you take another look at the curveball. Washington in center, and Mike Easler in right. Got in high heat, up out of the strike zone, so Incaviglia, I should say, gone. 4th strikeout for Roden, and he gets the leadoff man. That'll bring up the catcher, Gino Petrali. Petrali coming in hitting at .301, 2 homers, 15 ribbies. He hit a rocket to Randolph his first trip. Got a change from Rick, waited on it nicely, and hurt it. That breaking ball down and in, and the count 1-0. Yankees in the infield. Mattingly at first. Randolph at second. Collison is short. Pagliarulo at third. And a battery of Cerrone. And Roden, as that's in on him, fouls it over by the TV booth. And the count evens at 1. A ball is striking out here in the top of the 5th inning. For the Yankees trying to square it up at a game apiece. They lead it 3-0. Fastball out of play left side, and the count moves to 1-2. In fact, the Yankees have had a tough time with the Rangers thus far. The first 5 games played, they are 1-4. 1-2 here, and 0-2 down at Arlington Stadium. That curveball hit hard into center field. Claudel coming on, can't get there. I have to take it on the first hop. So Petrali. Petrali at first, 1 out, and here's the third baseman, Steve Buechele. Popped up to Mattingly back in the 3rd inning. We mentioned a graduate of Stanford. Up high, and the count 1-0. That game now in 8th inning. Kansas City leading Toronto 6-3. Tigers scored a run in the top of the 1st at Seattle. The Tigers hanging right in there. A ball and no strikes. Roden with a fastball, curveball, slider, change of pace, and a good sinker. Everybody, the last couple of weeks, as most of you know, reading the newspapers, have really been getting on Mr. Roden about purported scuffing of the ball. As there's a bunt. Roden has a play. Makes a good throw over to Mattingly, and that's out number 2. So Buechele trying to bunt his way on. Did not get it down the line. And they give him a sacrifice. There is another inequity, so to speak, in the scoring system. 1 out. He's trying to bunt for the base hit. Makes a bad bunt. He still does not get charged with a time at bat. But the out is there. It's 2 gone, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Bobby Brower. He lined hard to Easler his first trip. Inside, and the count 1-0. Brower in the first game knocked in the winning run. That was a single in the 5th inning. He went 1 for 4 with that ribby. So Bobby with 5 homers. He's knocked in 15 for the year. First game was scoreless through 4 innings. The Rangers came up with 3 in the 5th, 4 in the 6th, and 2 in the 7th to put it away. Pretty good hack by Brower right there on a fastball. And the count evens at 1. A ball, a strike, 2 out here in the top of the 5th inning. Brower this year against Yankee pitching, 5 for 12. Roden will back it off. Wants to talk to Cerrone. Outfield. Few steps over towards right for the 27-year-old Ranger center fielder. Oh, what a beautiful day it has been. Everything except the score in that first game. We certainly wish you a very happy 4th of July holiday, and be very careful if you got to hit the highways. Misses, and the count moves to 2-1. Here tomorrow afternoon at game time tomorrow is 2:20. It'll be Dennis Rasmussen against the right-hander Greg Harris for Texas. And finale on Sunday, Ron Guidry against Ed Correa. That's looped out in center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Here comes Petrale. He will score. And it's a 3-1 ball game. So for Brower's 2nd RBI of the day and his 16th of the season. Not too much to it, just a little duck snort out there in the center field, but it gets a job done. So that'll bring up the top of the order. Second baseman Jerry Brown. He's bounced to second, and he's singled to center. Tags even with a line at 3rd. Outfield spread out and straight away. Brower has 6 stolen bases in 10 attempts. Like the Rangers, 7 more stolen bases than the Yankees. They have 60. They've been thrown out 38 times. Yankees have 53. They've been thrown out 22 times. Can't get the fastball, and the count 0-1. Brown just 21 years old. Switch hitting second baseman. Once again, Roden will make sure Mr. Brower knows his presence out there. Rick Roden making his 17th start of the season. Going after his 10th victory. As Brower does not take off. Quick snap throw dug out nicely by number 23. Well, if you didn't see the first game, he made a couple of plays over there that were so pretty. As he'll take, this is not a real difficult because that was a nice short hop for him. But he had those in-between hops on a couple of plays in the first ball game. And I mean, made it look easy. Brower stretches his lead out a little bit as that's up high, and the count 2-1. So Roden, for the first time in this ball game, has given up 2 hits in an inning. He gave up 1 in the first, 1 in the third, and 1 in the fourth, all singles. Now Bauer getting off a little bit further. Broke it down like he was going to take off. Two balls, a strike, 2 out. Broke it down once again like he was going to be moving into second. Play a little closer this time. See, Roden, the way he breaks his knees out there, that can be very deceptive for some runners. Some runners key on the knees. Some of them on the hip, some of them on the shoulder. Another good lead by Bauer. He's off. Ground ball to Hopper to Tolleson. Easy play for Wayne over to first base, and that'll do it. But the Rangers get on the board, coming with a run on 2 hits, no errors, a man left, and after 4.5, it's 3-1 Yankees. Bottom of the 5th. Yankees on top 3-1. Right now, let's check some other scores for you. As we mentioned, that game at Kansas City, first of a doubleheader. Royals leading 6-3. Now in the bottom of the 8th inning. In the second game, Cerruti against Jackson. Rain delay at Cleveland, White Sox and Indians. Minnesota leading Baltimore 2-1 after 2. That's Boddicker against Smithson. Milwaukee at California, Higuera against Frazier. Boston and Oakland, Sellers against Oliveros. And the Tigers leading Seattle 1-0 in the first. At the Kingdome, that's Robinson against Moore. But right here, it'll be Cerrone, Tolleson, and then the top of the order, Ricky Henderson to face the right-hander, the 24-year-old right-hander, Jose Guzman. Cerrone 0 for 1, had a little check swing grounder to third base. His first trip, takes a sinker in and over, and the count 0-1. Check some National League scores for you. Before 37,650 at Wrigley Field this afternoon. It was the San Francisco Giants over the Cubbies by a score of 3-1. The winner, Kelly Downs, 7-4. Jamie Moyer, the loser, 8-6. Paul Noche, his first major league home run, and Robinson picked up his 9th save. That was the Giants 3, the Cubs 1. Can't get the bad pitch right there, and that'll take care of Cerrone. Guzman got him fishing. Second strikeout for Jose, and with 1 gone, that'll bring up the shortstop, Wayne Tolleson. Other National League action after 5 at Riverfront in Cincinnati. Reds leading the Mets 3-1. Darling against Hoffman. After 4 at Veterans Stadium, it's 2-1 Phillies over Houston. That's Ryan against Ruffin. After 5.5 at Pittsburgh, as Tolly goes through it, and the count 0-1. After 5.5 at Three Rivers, 5-0. Pirates leading the Dodgers. Bobby Bonilla has homered in that ball game. Valenzuela started, relieved by Howell in the 6th. Russell on the hill for the Buccos. Montreal leading San Diego 2-0 after 4.5. That's Hawkins against Yeomans. And the Cardinals scored 3 in the 4th. After 4, lead the Braves 3-0 down at Fulton County Stadium in Georgia. That's Forsch against Charlie Paleo. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses, and the count 2-1. Tolly 1 for 1. Had a single, a sharp single right back through the middle in the second inning. Buechele in on the grass at third. Outfield really swung around to the left and short. Pitch chopped right side. O'Brien should have the easy play. He'll take it himself. And there's 2 gone. Pete O'Brien. Easy play for him, but he can make the tough ones as well. Just a very fine ball player. Good hitter. Good glove man. And if he were playing in a bigger market, he would be much, much better known. But with 2 out, here's the leadoff hitter, Ricky Henderson. Ricky has bounced back to Guzman, and he's gone out to right. On the outside corner, and the count 0-1. field straight away and deep. That curveball, a 59-footer, a ball and a strike. Ricky's still nursing that tender hamstring. In the first game against the hard-throwing right-hander Bobby Witt, led it off with a double just inside the bag down the first baseline. He was 1 for 3 with a couple of walks. That's hard hit. Buechele bobbles it. Now recovers, has time, and he throws him out. So for the 4th time in 5 innings, Guzman retires the Yankees in order, and after 5, New York leads it 3-1. Bottom of the 5th inning, and we're sitting here watching the Bronx Bomber race up on the board. And I'll tell you, that's a cute little thing right there, Pards.
That is fun. Crowd gets into it. It's great. Great. Red won it. Who'd you have? You had
The white.
Danny? You had the red.
You had the blue.
You wanted the white, though, huh? Hawk had first pickers on that one. Okay, here we go. In the bottom half of the 5th inning, 3-1 Yankees. Scott Fletcher will lead it off. And that little line drive to Willie Randolph in his first at bat and became a strikeout victim in the 4th inning. Rangers getting to Rick Rhoden for a run in the 5th. A 1-out single by Petraui. Buechele sacrificed him over, and Brower singled to center. Rhoden has scattered 5 base hits. Here is Tollison at short, and Fletcher retired on a nice scoop by Don Mattingly, 1 man away. The Yankees put 3 on the board in the 2nd. Easler singled home 1. And Mike Pagliarulo's 13th homer of the season sent home 2 more. Since that point, the Yankees have not had a base hit against young Jose Guzman. Ruben Sierra 1 for 2. But 0 for 5 in the first game. Change curve in for a strike, 0-1. Rhoden looking for his 10th victory of the season. Yankees looking for a split of the doubleheader. And the count goes 1 ball, 1 strike. Rick Rhoden. Looking to become the first Yankee to reach double figures. So when you look back to last season, you get an idea of just how impressive a year it was for a Yankee ball club. The maneuvering that went on. Yankees won 90 games last year and had only 1 pitcher in double figures. I don't know if there's ever been another major league ball club to accomplish that feat. 90 wins and only 1 pitcher with more than 9 wins, and that of course was Rasmussen. The addition of Rhoden most certainly has helped this New York Yankee ball club. 2 balls, 2 strikes now to Sierra. Good crowd on hand for this doubleheader. The fireworks will follow. Tomorrow afternoon, the series continues. Rasmussen against Harris. And on Sunday, glove day for the kids. Guidry against Correa. Full count, 3-2. Rick Rhoden has had excellent control this evening. He has yet to walk a batter. He has struck out 3. Check at 4. Mattingly makes the play all by himself. Talk about instinct. Mattingly fully aware of his surroundings, where that ball was, makes the play. Eyes Sierra and stabs the left leg out, and there are 2 men out. Pete O'Brien, the Ranger first baseman, will step in. Nearly took one out of the ballpark in his first at bat back in the 1st inning, sending Henderson back to the warning track near the 379 mark, and then single to right. Breaking ball in for a strike. Yankees leading 3-1 as we play the top half of the 6th inning. Bryant had 23 homers last year. He'll top that this season. 18 already. 1-1. Two balls, one strike. Yankee outfield straight away and deep on O'Brien. Center field. Claudell Washington. Side retired. 1-2-3 inning for Rick Rhoden. Rangers go down here on the top of the 6th through 5.5. Yankees 3, Texas 1. Bottom of the 6th inning here at Yankee Stadium. 3-1 in favor of the New York Yankees. Willie Randolph will lead it off. Jose Guzman, since giving up the 2-run homer to Paulie Rulo in the 2nd inning. And Thomason with a 2-out hit has retired 10 Yankees in a row. Randolph 0 for 2. He's flied to left, flied to center. Captain Willie got the opening game off. The rest of that ailing knee. Strike one. Guzman lifetime 2-0 against the Yankees. A win this year, beat them last year. 0-2. He's only 23 years of age, from Puerto Rico. Santa Isabel. 1-2. Yankees able to muster only 5 hits in the opener. In the game they were shut out by a score of 9-0. And only 3 hits here in the nightcap. And Randolph will be an easy out, leading off the bottom of the 6th. 11 in a row for Jose Guzman. Don Mattingly 0 for 2. 2 for 4 in the opener. Takes a ball from Guzman. Got the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two balls, 1 strike to Mattingly with 1 out here in the 6th inning. And it's ball 3. The opener was a scoreless game till the 5th inning when the Rangers got 3. Fletcher singled home a couple of them. A grand slam home run. Mattingly loops this one to left, and Cavilia's there. Mattingly now 0 for 3, and Cavilia's retired him twice, and there are 2 men out. The grand slam home run by Mike Stanley in the opener. This broke the game open. It came off Cecilio Galante, and then Galante gave up a 2-run shot to Parrish in the 7th inning. Here's Dave Winfield. Walked in the 2nd, went to 2nd on a balk. Went to 3rd very alertly, tagging up and moving over on a fly ball to Sierra, and then scored on Eastler's base hit. Ball 1. Winfield 0 for 1, bounced to 2nd in his 2nd attempt at the plate. Good breaking ball in for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. One point this year, Guzman was 2-5. So he has won 4 of his last 5 decisions. typifies the kind of year the Rangers have gone through. They started off winning only one of their first 11 games, and right now they're just 2 under 500. And once again a threat in that American League West. Outside, 3 balls, 1 strike. Well, there you see it. Kansas City has held on and beaten Toronto by a score of 6-4. 6 runs, 12 hits, 3 errors for the Royals. Toronto 4-9-0. So the Yankees remain 3 up on the Blue Jays. That's the first of a doubleheader in Kansas City. 3-2.
Well, Danny Jackson won his last time out to make his record 4-10, but you got to figure a lot better than that. I think Kansas City's got an excellent chance of sweeping those Blue Jays down there tonight. You got Cerruti going against him, and if he throws the ball the same way he did against the Yankees last time, then Kansas City would probably get him.
Cerruti had a tough night, and Jackson, as you say, it's about the best 4-10 pitcher around.
Yeah, not too many clubs wouldn't want to have him.
Now low ball 4. Remember, after the Royals got the great year from Saberhagen 2 years ago. Speaking of Dick Hauser a couple of times over the winter, all he kept raving about, was looking forward to, was to Danny Jackson the following year. And he had such high hopes and great aspirations for him. Claudell Washington in now, and he takes a strike.
You talk about the Rangers being back in there. I'll tell you one thing, they will not quit. They didn't quit all last year. They played as hard as anybody in either division. As long as Bobby's running that ball club, he will not allow them to pack it in.
And they believe in what Bobby Valentine does. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rangers got a run in the 5th inning. A 1-out sacrifice bunt by Buechele put the run in scoring position. And the base hit by Brower made it 3-1. A little unorthodox, a 1-out sacrifice, but you look at it now, it has gotten the Rangers back into this ball game. They're on the board. Deep left center field. Brower on the run along with Incaviglia, and Brower will take it down to retire the side as Claudell got good wood going to the opposite field, but the side retired. A walk. The Yankees lead 1 through 6. 3-1 New York. Spencer Ross and the Hawk, Ken Harrelson. We're moving to the 7th inning here at the stadium. Second of a doubleheader. Yanks lost the opener 9-0. Looking for the split. Lead at 3-1. Rick Rhoden has limited the Rangers to 5 base hits, and the dangerous Larry Parrish strikes the first pitch off. Foul 1. Parrish 0 for 2. He flied to left and took a called 3rd strike. Big home run in the opener. Strike 0-2.
Well, it wasn't such a big home run score-wise, but it was logistically it was a big home run.
They woke us up, I'll tell you. That ball up.
Put a charge into it.
Breaking ball. Nice hop to Tallis. 1 man out. Could have been a bad one, but it didn't rise high enough to get over Tallis' head.
That's what you call a little wing foot hop there. Nice hop.
So Parrish retired. 1 man out. Pete Incaviglia. He has struck out in both his at-bats in this ball game. Struck out twice in the opener. 99 strikeouts for Incaviglia in 293 at-bats. Strike 1.
It's better than 1 out of every 3.
Now, you talk about the high heat and the inability to get above it, is particularly with a real good fastball pitcher, because physiologically it's tough to just get up there.
Well, sure, it's tough.
Like that?
Well, you don't consider Roden overpowering pitcher. But what happens is, because of the specter in the hitter's mind of the curveball and the slider, Roden at that point upstairs can become an overpowering pitcher, because of the fact that the gun, as I said, is only in the mind of the hitter. That's where the real gun is.
Comes up high again, 1-2.
And a lot of times, you know, of course, they'll just go up the ladder with these guys, but the fastball is one that is up high. You can see it. The hitters see it well. And it's the hardest pitch to lay off of.
Fouls this one back.
But you better stay on top of the strike zone. You better not drop it down into the strike zone.
Then you've got problems. Then the ball leaves quickly.
Those high fastballs go a long way.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Pete Incaviglia. We've got 1 man out here in the 7th. 3-1 Yankees. And he got him on the breaking ball.
Slow curve. Big Uncle Charlie.
Number 5 for Roden. 3rd time Incaviglia has gone the K route.
Yeah, we mentioned in the first thing, he's got Incaviglia's wheels turning, and that's what you want to do to a hitter. You just want to start thinking up there a little bit, then you get yourself a bigger strike zone.
Gino Petralli, who scored the Rangers' only run, singling in the 5th inning and scoring on Brower's 2-out base hit, takes a strike. Mike Stanley caught the first game at the Grand Slam homer. Smashed. Just fouled. Barely.
Hey, this guy looks like Yogi Berra up there against the Yankees. Every time that the Yankees have seen him this year, he's had a chance to get in there. I mean, he has swung the devil out of the bat. But he's in the hole here, 0-2.
Roden misses outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 men out here in the 7th. 3-1 Yankees.
Well, they've gone through about almost everything he's got except that one. Here comes the hook. Little lollipop. As backhanded nicely done. Nice play on both parts. Nice backhand by Mattingly. A little bit of a bad throw, hauled in nicely by Roden. So Roden here in the top of the 7th, as you take another look, there's a little lollipop curveball. Roden will have himself a nice easy 1-2-3 inning. And after 6.5 is 3-1 Yankees. Right now let's go back to our studios and our pards, Lee Zeidman.
Thanks, Hawk. Mets have slipped behind the Reds at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Let's see how. Dave Collins at the plate. Rips this one to center field. It's Ron Oster who scores from 3rd. The Mets grabbed a 3-1 lead, but since then, Bo Diaz has smashed a 2-run homer off of Ron Darling. It's 5-1. They're in the 7th inning. Darling still in the game. Hoffman was chased in the 6th. Elsewhere, Kansas City has defeated Toronto in the first game of a doubleheader, so the Blue Jays stay 3 games behind the Yankees for now. Also tonight in Kansas City, they retired Dick Hauser's number 10. That's the story for now. We'll have the complete Major League wrap-up after the game on New York Sports Nightly. Send you back to the Bronx after this.
Bottom of the 7th inning here at the stadium. Happy holiday to all you folks. Hope you're relaxed, enjoying yourself, getting ready for the big weekend. And we're happy we can be along. 3-1 Yankee lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Mike Easler, who singled home the Yankees' first run in a 3-run second, steps in, ball 1. All the Yankee hits clustered in that second inning. A walk to Winfield. at the second on a balk, third on a fly ball. Eastler singled him home. Pagliarulo followed with a 2-run homer. And there was a 2-out hit by Tolleson. And this one right to Ruben Sierra for the first out.
Hit it hard right to the man who's been there for 100 years.
The man who's been there for 100 years.
Right field.
Not the same guy, though.
No. Right fielder's been there for 100 years.
So's the left.
That's what you can do a lot of times. You come back, you dummy, you hit the man's been there for 100 years.
This one fouled down the right field line.
Boy, it's a nice crowd tonight.
Yeah.
Lively, festive, and a good fireworks show after the ball game. And don't forget about tomorrow. That'll be the Miami Sound Machine in concert featuring Gloria Estefan. And on Sunday, Gatorade Baseball Club Day.
Lots of activity in the bullpens. Dave Righetti up for the Yankees. And Mitch Williams for the Texas Rangers. Pagliarulo fouls it away. Tommy John also up, just loosening up. A couple of days after his last start.
Oh, TJ did himself proud up there at Exhibition Stadium.
Hung tough against a very tough Jimmy Key. Gave up 1 run. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Pagliarulo. Pags the difference in the ball game right now from the offensive side with that 2-run home run back in the second inning. Laid off 2-2. He got him. Yankees have not had a base hit since the second inning of this ball game.
Boy, Harry just pulled a string on him a little bit. No, in fact, they had played what, 15 2/3. They've only come up with 8 hits in the 15 2/3.
All the runs into that second inning of this second game. The 2-out Cerrone takes a ball. He's bounced to third, struck out. Sierra. And that is it. Yankees go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 7th inning. So through 7, it is still New York 3, the Texas Rangers 1.
Well, Fan Sports Channel knows that during the All-Star break, 1 game in 3 days is just not enough baseball. So on July 15th, we'll bring you a Sports Channel curtain call of an exciting Yankee game from this year. But we need your help to decide which game to show. We're going to give you 2 choices. Should we show the Yankees' incredible comeback victory over Roger Clemens and the Red Sox? Or would you rather see the Bronx Bombers slugfest wins over the Blue Jays? That was 15-14. It's your choice, and all you got to do is just pick up the phone. And if you'd like to see the comeback win over the Sox, dial 1-900-720-2660. And if you want to live all those home runs, relive them all, the 2 grand slams and the 3 2-run homers, just dial 1-900-720-2666. It's your choice. Remember, please dial carefully, and there is a 50-cent charge per call.
Well, here we go now in the top of the 8th inning. Yankees leading 3-1. And Steve Buechele.
No, we're going to have a little hitter for him, Darrell Porter.
Oh, excuse me, Darrell Porter up as pinch hitter. Porter in the first game tonight. 1 for 3 with a walk. He scored a run. Here's a strike. 0-2. Porter this season has 3 pinch hit home runs, which is a Texas team record. 2 off the American League mark. Smacks this one down the line. This could be number 4, and it is a foul ball. Ooh, mighty, mighty close.
Yeah, he tried to throw him that little lollipop curveball. Porter double clutched it, waited on it, and hit it hard. Look at that. Look at that. Hello. I tell you. Lordy, lordy. There's just a rocket. Hit right back through the middle. And a big out, obviously, in a 3-1 ball game, top of the 8th. The man you want to get is that leadoff man. And take another look. I mean, this ball is scalded. Whoosh. Look at that.
Look what I found. So Porter retired. 1 man out. Bob Brower steps in. Well, tonight's attendance 43,856.
Hey, he's out of there.
He should be. Let's see. Yes, says first base umpire Ted Hendrick. He was hit by that bunted ball in fair territory.
Ball hits you in foul territory. Batter out. Bobby's not going to even contest it. He's going to try to lay it down. He's doing a pretty good job of it, but when he gets out of there, he's out of the box. See you later.
So 2 men out. Two men away. And Jerry Brown, the second baseman. At 43,856 tonight. That's 7 straight games the Yankees have had 40,000 or more.
Well, they should. First place, about 3 games, playing good baseball. I don't think it surprises anybody.
Expecting a good crowd tomorrow and again Sunday afternoon. Outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike to Brown. It was 1 for 3. Was thrown out stealing back in the 3rd inning. Fouled away. Rick Rhoden has limited the Rangers to 5 base hits, but his counterpart on the other side, Jose Guzman, has given up 3 base hits. The bottom line is the team in the pinstripes, Rhoden's ball club, leading in the game 3-1.
Rhoden's kept all his in the park. Thus far.
2-2. Can change quickly. Willie Randolph at second. In a 1-2-3 inning for Rick Rhoden and the New York Yankees. So we've gone 7.5 now, and it's still 3-1 New York.
A reminder that Sports Channel keeps you up to date on the world of New York sports throughout each weeknight with our Sports Channel Tonight updates. And immediately following tonight's game, an expanded edition of New York Sports Nightly. Tonight, Lee Seidman talks with New York Knicks star Bernard King, and Harvey Pack previews the weekend's major races at Belmont Park. That's Sports Channel Tonight and the expanded wrap-up edition of New York Sports Nightly, only on Sports Channel, the official channel of the New York fan.
Here we go into the bottom of the 8th inning. Jose Guzman has most certainly pitched well enough to win most ball games, but the 2-run homer by Pagliarulo back in the 2nd inning, and the Yankees with a 3-1 lead.
Listen to that ovation for that, again, that piece on Thurman Munson. And it certainly, as I mentioned before, certainly the best I have ever seen in any of the parks. There is a well done piece.
And I tell you, we see it a lot. And it still just gets you right in
the only
stomach.
thing that bothers me is the time. They're always playing it when we got to come back after commercial. You got to read a promo or something. You can't watch the whole damn thing. I mean, it is really an outstanding piece.
And this crowd, every time they see it, you know, many of them have seen it 10, 15, 20 times. They still react in that same beautiful way with great remembrances of the man who wore number 15, Thurman Munson. Here's Tollison taking ball 1.
Talking about Guzman, he pitched himself a heck of a game for a guy who's healthy.
That's right.
Much less a guy who's got mononucleosis.
Tollison 1 for 2 in the ball game. He got the last base hit for the Yankees. That was back in the 2nd inning. And then the youngster proceeded to rattle off 10 in a row, 12 in a row before giving up a walk to Winfield with 2 outs in the 6th. Now he's gotten 4 more. 2-1.
Well, I've never had it, but they tell me that stuff really just zaps you. It just takes all your strength out. He must have a mild case of it. Somebody must have just given him a little peck on the cheek.
That's what they used to say about that. That's the way you got it. Back decades ago when we were teenagers.
That's another one of the myths that we grew up with. I'll tell you what, they lost me with all them myths when they said mama's milk was no good for the baby. That's when they lost me on all those new theories that are coming out. Well,
they've changed that around now.
Yep, they've gone back to where it should be.
That's right. 2 balls, 2 strikes. This medical report has been brought to you by
Sports Channel, the official channel of the New York Thing.
We're in the bottom of the 8th. Yankees leading 3-1 despite having only 3 base hits in this ball game. Rangers took the opener 9-0. Combined 5-hitter. Bobby Valentine used 3 pitchers. Bobby Witt went 5 1/3, gave up 3 hits. Jeff Russell and then Paul Kilgus. Bob Tewksbury took the loss. 3-2 now to Tollison. Look ahead to the 9th inning for the Rangers. They've got the heart of their order. Fletcher, Ruben Sierra, Pete O'Brien.
Hello.
Incaviglia. Nice play by the left fielder.
Took him a while to get there, but once he got there and got the leather on it, he squeezed it. He just takes that header. Nice catch by the Ranger left fielder. Didn't get a real good jump on it.
So 1 man away. Ricky Henderson steps in. Curtis Wilkerson in the ball game at 3rd base now for the Rangers after Darrell Porter pinch hit for Buechele. Henderson 0 for 3. Bounced to the pitcher, flied to right, and bounced to 3rd. Two and up. Blue Jays losing that opener tonight. They've dropped 5 in a row now. And Clancy has only 1 win since May the 23rd.
That's the first time they have lost, what, more than 2 in a row all year.
Yeah, it started with the 3 and then 4 against the Yankees. And those last 2 games in Toronto, the 1st and 4th highest crowds in Blue Jay history. And they've lost every one of those top crowd days they've ever had. The first 4, top 4 at least.
Good.
3 balls, no strikes here to Henderson. Guzman's walked 2. And there's a strike on the inside. 3-1. Clancy's always been a streak pitcher like that. A rattle off 5 or 6 for you. And then
That guy pitched against him tonight's been the same thing. Gubazov. You get a lot of streak pitchers. In fact, it's a streaky game, let's face it.
There's ball 4. 3rd walk given up by Jose Guzman. comes with one man out. Guzman has one complete game this season. Got a lot of activity out in the Ranger bullpen right now. Mitch Williams and Jeff Russell are up. And in the Yankee bullpen, Tommy John just continues to loosen up. So Rick Rhoden will definitely be out for that 9th inning. Here's TJ. Things get a little heavy in the 9th. You can be sure number 19, Dave Righetti, is going to get back up.
It won't take him but 4 or 5 pitches to get loose. He was airing it out pretty good last inning.
Well, Lee Randolph 0 for 3.
Best way to solve that problem, cure that headache, just put a few more on the board right here.
That's what the Yankees trying to do with one man out here in the 8th, leading 3-1. Rasmussen against Correa tomorrow afternoon. And these two meet again on Sunday.
That's an NBC game tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who will be in here? Bob and Tony?
I'm really not sure. Vinny and Joe. Runner goes. Line. We're going to get a double play right here as Fletcher was coming over to cover second, and he stabbed that line drive that very nearly decapitated him. But the side retired on this wicked shot.
Oh, that was just a, I mean, he had just a pea. And you see Fletcher recover very nicely, has to go back a little bit, takes him right on his fanny, and from right there he throws him out. So nothing across, and Rick Rhoden going to the top of the 9th inning takes a 3-1 lead. Well, indeed, a pitching change here in the top of the 9th inning. As Dave Righetti, who had sat down out there, had thrown enough, he's ready, and here he is. You see Rags with a mark of 5-3, 4.35 ERA to go along with those 15 saves. Matter of fact, the Yankees and the Minnesota Twins leading the American League in saves with 22. So Rick Rhoden, oh, what a job he did tonight. The veteran goes out there, goes 8 innings, giving up just 1 run on 5 hits, did not walk a Texas batter, and he had 5 punch-outs. So Rhoden trying for his 10th victory. And right here, Righetti trying desperately for his 16th save.
And 3 outs to go. Yankees looking for the split. It'll be Fletcher, Sierra, and O'Brien, the scheduled batters for the Rangers. Rhoden, as you said it, Hawk, excellent performance tonight. One that was needed. Yankees lose the opener 9-0, and they come up against a very strong pitcher here in this nightcap. So limits them to 3 base hits. And Rhoden turning in an excellent effort himself. But now it is up to Righetti, whose last outing was within that wild, crazy ball game against the Toronto Blue Jays, the 15-14 event, in which he went 3 innings. He got the win, gave up 4 hits, 3 runs. They were all unearned, but nevertheless.
He got burned a little bit in that ball game, and then settled down and held them off.
He walked 1, struck out 3. He's got Fletcher right here, is 0 for 3 in the second game. There's 1 base hit tonight. There was a 2 RBI single back in the 5th inning of the opener, which gave the Rangers then a 3-0 lead. They won it 9-zip. Ball 1. Talking to David in that chat I had with him in between the 2 games, he said he's getting back to being what he is and going more with the heat rather than relying on those breaking balls that we talked about earlier in the year that he was throwing quite a bit of.
Well, he had turned into basically a breaking ball pitcher, and which is a nice adjustment if you can make it when you don't have your good heat. But he was throwing too many of them, and of course there's always a catch-22 in a situation like that. If you don't have your good fastball, the more breaking balls you throw, the fewer fastballs you throw, the shorter your muscles are going to get.
2 balls, 1 strike to Fletcher.
As you were talking about pitchers, sometimes in clubs earlier, as we mentioned, start off slowly. Righetti's had that track record.
3 years ago, broke his toe in Anaheim. Struggled. Last year, had a period May and June. He struggled. And this year, he struggled through May and most of June. And he goes behind 3-1 now.
As we mentioned last inning, that's the reason it was such a big play on the bat of Darrell Porter. A line shot that Roden just reached out and snagged. Boy, the leadoff man is the man. I mean, this is the man. You can't walk this guy. You got to make him put it in play.
3-1 here to Fletcher. And Rigetti gets a big strike. Full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Top of the ninth. 3-1 Yankees. $43,856 on hand. And a full count pitch coming to Fletcher. Willie Randolph at second. 1 man out here in the ninth.
He just threw the strike on the 3-1. Didn't have a whole bunch on it, but I'll tell you one thing. On the 3-2 right there, he just came right on back at him.
And he gets a very, very dangerous man in Scott Fletcher. Ruben Sierra turns around now, bats right hand. 1 for 3 in the second game. 1 for 8 in the doubleheader. Takes a strike, 0-1.
Blair.
Could be trouble.
Here comes Claudel. He's there.
2 men out. So Sierra retired, and Rigetti has gotten the first 2 here in the top half of the ninth inning. 1 out away from save number 16. And 1 out away from getting the Yankees a split of this doubleheader. And this is a tough out right here. Pete O'Brien, 1 for 3. Nearly took one into the lower deck of the left field stands in his first at bat, moving Henderson back to the warning track and up against the wall. Take 1. Yankees finished off the first game of this doubleheader with Rick Cerrone at first, Paul Zavella at second, Jeff Morocco at third, and Ron Kittle in left field. Pitch outside for a ball. So a lot of zigging and zagging, a lot of chess playing, a lot of maneuvering. Trying to keep everybody fresh for the second game of the doubleheader. And there's a base hit for O'Brien. Solid 1 to center, and the Rangers' hopes remain alive. And guess who's coming to the plate? I won't leave you hanging. The man who, perhaps more than anybody else in this Texas ball club, could put it out of the park.
There he just gets the ball up out over the plate. And O'Brien giving just a shade against Rigetti. Ripped it. Thank goodness he didn't get that one down.
And Rigetti will have to face Larry Parrish. Parrish, 19 home runs, 57 RBIs. There are 2 men out. We're in the top of the ninth inning. Yankees leading 3-1. 3 runs, only 3 hits for the Yankees, whose last base hit came in the second inning. 1-6-0 for the Rangers. Parrish 0 for 3. Strike 1. Now this is power versus power.
You can rest assured there will be no hitting and running going on in this at-bat.
0-1 to Parrish.
This is hammer time in Parrish's mind. That's it. Rags just reached back. He looked like Vinegar Ben Mizell on that one. He reached it almost like it hit the ground with it. That's just about everything that he can put on it. That's all the gas he's got right there. And you got it by him.
And this crowd is getting ready. The count is 0-2 to Parrish. 2 men are out. O'Brien leading from first. Mattingly playing behind him. 3-1 New York. And the 0-2. He did not go around. 1-2.
He got that ball in a good spot, though. Up high, up out of the strike zone, hoping that Parrish would make a run at it, because he's not going to get on top of it up there. Not with that giddy up.
1-2.
Might even come back with another one up there. But I'd make sure you just get it on top of the strike zone.
Oh, and he took something off that one. Strike 3 called and had Parrish way off balance, and the ball game is over.
Got him with his skirt down. Good curveball. Took something off of it and just absolutely froze Parrish right up there at the plate. What a nice pitch. There it is.
And Rigetti gets save number 16 for Rick Rhoden, who wins his 10th of the season as the Yankees come back to take a split of this doubleheader after losing the opener 9-0. They come back to win the nightcap by a score of 3-1. Chalk up the save to Rigetti, the victory for Rhoden. 3-1 Yankees. We're going to get back to Yankee Stadium in just a moment, but right now let's go to Lee Zeidman in our studios.
Thanks, Spencer. Coming right up, the complete Major League wrap-up on New York Sports Nightly. We'll start in Cincinnati, where Ron Darling's troubles continue, then to Atlanta, where the Cardinals increase their lead in the National League East. Jimmy Connors won't get a win at Wimbledon. We'll have highlights and set the finals for you. And we'll visit the Ernie and Bernie show. 11 years later, some things don't ever change. Those stories, some strange words on the Mets from Cincinnati, all the scores and more coming right up on New York Sports Nightly after a final word on the Yankees doubleheader from Spencer and the Hawk.
We're back here at Yankee Stadium where more than 43,000 have seen a doubleheader shutout. Yankees lose the opener 9-0, come back to win the nightcap by a score of 3-0. A combined 6-hit shutout by Rick Rhoden and Dave Rigetti, who picks up save number 16. Second ball game tonight, Ken Harrelson. Yankees,
speak up, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? There's a lot of noise going on here.
I know it.
Second ball game tonight. Yankees get all 3 of their base hits in that second inning. Mike Easler singles home 1. Jose Guzman, marvelous pitching performance, but Mike Pagliarulo comes up with a real big base hit in the ballgame.
Well, his 13th home run of the season. This was a typical left-handed hitter, power hitter at Yankee Stadium, when all of a sudden he just reaches out. Let's watch it right here. He'll reach it out as Easler's on the base. There's that sinker. Reaches out, hooks it. I mean, just a wicked line shot right over that 353 sign, and that made it a 3-1 ball game. So indeed, Pagliarulo coming through with his 13th homer, a big one, as Easler, who had driven in Winfield, who started the inning off with a heads-up. He walked, went to second, then a heads-up base running play on a he tagged up, went to third base on a fly ball, and that set up the single by Easler. But that made it 3-1, and then another good play by Rhoden in the 8th inning off the bat right here of Darrell Porter. Now, the thing that made this a good play was the fact this is leading off the inning. There he goes out. He just hits a wicked line shot. And watch Rhoden, who's a very fine athlete, just reach out, reacts very nicely, because believe me, that is strictly a reaction play.
Now, reflex, and a great reflex indeed it was. Dave Rigetti came out. I said, double shutouts. Well, the Yankees were shut out in the opener. The Rangers did come up with a victory with a run in the second game, but the Yankees come up with a victory by a score of 3-1, and with Toronto losing the opener of their doubleheader with Kansas City 6-4, well, the Yankees have not lost any ground to the Blue Jays and will await the second score of that Kansas City-Toronto doubleheader. But the Yankees take the nightcap, and we'll get back right after this. Well, the final scores here tonight. The opening game taken by the Texas Rangers by a score of 9-0. You see the line score right there. The winning pitcher in that one was Bobby Witt. and the losing pitcher Bob Tewksbury. In the nightcap, it went the New York Yankees 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors. They left 2 men aboard, while the Texas Rangers, in the second game of the doubleheader, the Texas Rangers had 1 run, 6 hits, no errors. They left 4 men aboard. Rick Rhoden, the winner of the nightcap. He's 10-5. Jose Guzman, despite that 3-hit effort, takes a disappointing loss. His record drops to 6-7. And Dave Righetti picks up save number 16. So again, the final scores: Rangers 9-0 in the opener, Yankees 3-1 in the nightcap. And remember, Sunday afternoon at 1:30, the Yankees will take on these same Texas Rangers. Monday at 7:30, the Mets battle it out with Atlanta right here on Sports Channel. Up next, it's Lee Zeidman with the latest on the New York sports scene on New York Sports Nightly. So until Sunday, for the Hawk, Ken Harrelson, Spencer Ross saying so long. Thanks for watching Yankees baseball on Sports Channel, the official channel of the New York fans.
New York Yankees baseball has been brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood Aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. Today's TWA. Find out how good we really are. By Dodge. Your Tri-State Dodge dealer knows what counts. And by Toyota and the all-new line of 1987 cars and trucks. Who could ask for anything more?